step after the huge road win at Memphis. USF playing their best basketball of the season right now.
Probably one of the more surprising scores in the American this season. 75-51 USF coming off that win against Memphis the other night, as you said.
We're going to see a lot of zone defenses today because of the lack of bodies available for SMU.
SMU and Elijah Landrum, the freshman, controls it right now. 18 points a game, hasn't played in quite some time. Mark, you're hoping maybe he'll be ready for the American Athletic Conference tournament?
Yeah, and I doubt it, to be honest with you. Elijah Landrum, the freshman right there on the dribble drive, he's got this is a team that's also playing dinged up even with their quote-unquote healthy guys.
McMurray had to hoist it up as the shot clock was going.
You know, Mike, it's so hard when you're SMU, you're at 15-7. Joe Lunardi has you in as an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, and you just come off the win at Wichita State where Shake Milton goes for 33, and then he gets hurt. Trey Foster got hurt before that. Everett Gray got hurt. I mean, it's just been a nightmare for Tim Jankovic.
Three-pointer on the way by McMurray, no good. Rebounded by USF's Terrence Samuel. Banks for three. And a foul on the rebound. Third metatarsal in his shooting hand. Has been in some practices though, and is getting back on the floor, but not playing in 5-on-5 as of yet. And you're right, pretty much doubtful still for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I talked to Tim Jankovic about it, and it's a matter of, is he 100%? The answer right now is no. If he's not 100%, what's the risk and reward for playing in the American tournament?
SMU controlling. Right now they're pretty much locked into the number 9 seed in the upcoming tournament next week in Orlando. As Jimmy Witt puts up the jumper, that's off. Another three-point try. Banks, no good.
Well, there's been nothing inside early for USF.
Samuel out of contact. For right now, they didn't have a point in the first half, the entire first half, and then lost it.
Wichita State is as good as Cincinnati is. You know, Houston's is like the sharks in the water when they smell blood. I mean, when they sense any kind of weakness, they are all over you. Kelvin Sampson has built one of the best sharks in college basketball.
This is game 1 of 6 today in the American Athletic Conference. First game of the day just completed. Cincinnati knocking off Wichita State, 62-61. Here's the steal. Collins. Landrum pulls it down.
So interesting final score in that Cincinnati-Wichita State game. Remember the preseason poll? Cincinnati was voted first by 1 point over Wichita State. I think somebody got it right.
No doubt about it.
By 1 point in the preseason poll.
And it comes right down to this game. Had Wichita State won, they would have been the regular season champs.
They would have been the number 1 seed, and they would have been the co-champs. Cincinnati has now won the outright American Championship. Congratulations to Mick Cronin, to Darren Savino, to Larry Davis. That entire program, what a well-earned championship by the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Here's a steal by Jimmy Witt. McMurray, a wide open three. Jiggins.
I'd say this is ugly early.
Yeah, it's tough to start, no doubt. Not a lot going down for either team. 0 for 6 USF, 1 for 4 SMU. Landrum for 3. There we go.
That was pretty.
Landrum's had to do a lot with all the injuries this season.
There have been greater expectations, and that's what happens with injuries. You throw guys in a little bit over their head. Sometimes they have to play a little bit out of position. Sometimes they have to take on more scoring responsibility, more minutes, and Elijah Landrum has done it well.
One of the 4 freshmen that see action for SMU this season. Extended time for him as Jiggins goes baseline.
Mike, that's the only plus with injuries, that you give other guys an opportunity to play, especially your young players. Elijah Landrum, one of those guys. There is the ball right now.
Witt, just a sophomore. Him and Meligu are the only ones to start to play in all 31 games this season for SMU.
Yeah, Jimmy Witt caught my eye in the game against USC earlier this year with SMU won by double digits. Jimmy Witt was so good against the zone. It's like an option quarterback. He sees everything.
And Akoy, think about if Taco was in the lineup, you know, for that team.
And Aubrey Dawkins, who arguably would have been their best player.
Right.
That's what B.J. Taylor, who I think is really, really good.
5-1 here early in favor of SMU. 5 minutes in on this final day of the regular season. Jiggets puts up a 3, and there's a foul on the rebound.
An unlikely run, but a run.
Their strength of schedule was 2.
Yeah.
You know, throughout the season, they had some really good wins. Disappointing in that loss at home to Houston, where they didn't compete at all. I mean, you've got your tournament hopes on the line. They didn't show up in that game. It's a tough team, obviously, but they just weren't even.
Again, Houston can just bury you. David Collins was down. He's back up now. Number 11 for USF, the very talented freshman. It's the last thing Brian Gregory needs is an injury to his talented freshman, Collins.
Jiggets for 3.
He's really played well, especially coming down the stretch. This was a guy who was more of a setup point guard, who, again, injuries and things like that matter, and he's had to adjust now because of the... Watch Stephon Jiggets, number 0 for USF. He runs the offense, but he looks to score. He's a guy that you have to guard now. Was more of a setup guy before.
Samuel banks and a late kick to Justin Brown as the ball gets stuck. It's Manderson, Samuel, and Banks are gone at the end of the season. Where does USF go here, Mark?
Well, and that's where Brian Gregory, that grinder mentality, built the right way. No shortcuts. Got three guys sitting out right now. Signed 3 guys. Slow and steady, 1 brick at a time. He's going to have his staff back, and then player development's key for this program moving forward. This was a program that was decimated by APR, the academic issues. Those are gone now. Brian Gregory cleared all of that up, so now they're on even footing with everybody else, and you move forward. Jiggets from deep. Whoa. One brick at a time.
Yes.
We're building it 1 brick at a time. Apparently that was one of them.
Right on cue there for you, Mark.
With my apologies to Stephon Jiggets.
3 of 19 from the field combined by both teams right now. As inside is Shagwell.
Also can pass it, he can shoot it. I mean, this is a 6'8" guy that plays like a guard. And that time, just because he's on top of the game, gets a steal.
And you got to recognize that if you're USF. The basket counted. It was 1 free throw. They weren't ready for it. And Shagwell able to get his own rebound. Inexcusable there.
That's a freshman outfoxing everyone and gets fouled again.
Yep.
Year along with Sean Williams in East Carolina, Fabian White at Houston, Cesar DeJesus at UCF. Those would be my
Big Ten at 7, the Pac-12 at 9. You can always watch them live on the ESPN app if you are out and about.
Since we're talking Champ Week, how about those Racers at Murray State?
Right?
Big win last night. Jonathan Stark was tremendous. Matt McMahon, one of the great guys in college basketball, and the Racers are headed to the NCAA tournament with the win over Belmont. Loved watching that game last night.
Should be championship weeks because it's for 2 weeks, really. You've got some games going on right now, and of course, all of next week. Into next weekend, jumper by Anderson goes. 1-point game again in favor of the Mustangs.
Jonathan Stark can really play. Man, he came up big last night.
Van Meligu for SMU.
Good defense.
Yep, shutting off the strong side for Landrum. Now for 3.
That was their best defensive possession of the game for USF. Let's see if they can capitalize now offensively.
Under 12 minutes to go first half. Jiggets. Trying to go inside to Anderson. Over Shagwa, too strong, almost tipped up and in by Samuel.
It's interesting to watch SMU. They open their zone and they sprinkle in man-to-man every once in a while, but they're just trying to protect the guys from foul trouble. There's Shagwa down low. Good pass.
Amelagu thought about the three, instead a little more high percentage.
All started with Ethan Shagwell down low, recognizing where the defense was. Now Landry, big time pass.
To Witt for two.
Jimmy Witt.
Head up the floor, solid pass, timeout. SMU team, with all their injuries, and coach Tim Jankovic, of what he's got these guys to still do and not become one-on-one players and think they have to do it all themselves.
They are a good 25, 30-minute team. As you look at David Collins, one of my guys that I think as a freshman has been so productive. But what he's been able to do is still keep his team focused on execution, even without 10 players to practice with.
Witt tries to go for Shagwell.
Sorry, Mike. They run out of gas late. That's their problem. There's Shagwell again inside, who read his defender, came to the ball. He ducked to the open wood.
That's the point you said. It's late. Can they sustain 40
That's
minutes?
right.
It's very tough.
They played Cincinnati tough for 25, 30 minutes, but Cincinnati just wore them down.
I was doing that game in Dallas. Milton's out, of course. Foster and Ray are both out. We knew that coming in, as that's basket interference.
Played by Ethan Shagwell.
Shagwell was out for that game versus Cincinnati at home because he hurt himself in warm-ups. That was 44 points that the Mustangs were missing in that ball game of players that were out. Hard to win. McMurray. Witt, tough pull-up, and he drains it.
Over David Collins. He felt like he could use the freshman a little bit. And Jimmy Witt read it right.
David Collins, who has it right now, he's got to be one of the cornerstones of this group that Brian Gregory is going to build with for the future.
Yeah, he's been really, really tough. He's had 7 straight double-figure games. Vic Cronin, Greg Marshall, Giant Doggers Player of the Year, Gary Clark of Cincinnati, and Defensive Player of the Year, Gary Clark of Cincinnati as well. What a career Gary Clark has had at Cincinnati.
Now, speaking of defense here, Jimmy Witt on the steal for 2.
Jimmy Witt.
Yeah, Clark has been awesome. And he does it sometimes, if I can even say this, quietly.
No question.
You're like, oh, okay. He's just that good.
He averages 13 points a game. Kind of pedestrian for a nationally ranked team. He averages about 8 rebounds a game, but he shoots the ball so well from 3. He's a 40% plus shooter from 3 ball. He can play with his back to the basket. He's 50% from inside the 3-point line. And he blocks shots, he gets steals, and he assists it well.
Another steal here for SMU. McMurray, watch out from behind. It's going to be a foul on Samuel.
Started off at Arkansas. I came in the arena at Moody Coliseum last weekend. Nobody was there. Nobody was there except one guy, Jimmy Witt, working on his free throws. As a former coach, that's like Christmas.
That's awesome. Akoy Agau. 8-point game here in favor of the Mustangs with Akoy Agau at the line. ESPN champ week.
Gee, I wonder who's going to win those 2 games. Seems like every year it's Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Gonzaga, they share it well, they shoot it well.
What about those 2 teams come tournament time? What's your feeling on that? They roll through their conference, they have a lot of wins, they always end up being 1 or 2 and it comes down to the end, but what about them when the tournament starts?
Just like everybody else, it's a matchup thing. I mean, Gonzaga, because they can spread you so much, they have so many guys that can shoot the basketball, that's a hard team to guard. And then St. Mary's, because they can play inside out with a differentiated player in the marketplace like Jock Landale, that becomes a problem for them.
That was Malik Martin that just scored it for USF. 6-point game, under 8 to go in this first half.
Jiggett's matched up with Witt. That's a fun matchup.
Witt on the step back.
Jiggetts wins that battle.
Now Jiggett's on the offensive end. And foul on his way in. It's going to be Ben. 7th in the East. Sixers are in 6th. That matchup comes your way tonight in the NBA. Martin is at the free throw line for USF. Fouled before we went to break.
USF, long, athletic. He's one of those energy giver guys for Brian Gregory.
Fight for the rebound, pulled home by Justin Brown. Gives them another crack at it, and a missed three by Samuel, and a foul on the ball. Out of Serbia. Guy they'll have for another year. Coming back for Coach Gregory's team next season.
A really good post defender. Communicates well, moves his feet well. Good wingspan for number 41. Now he's on the backside watching.
McMurray got it stripped. Jiggets, offensive foul.
I think actually it was the right call.
I think it's a good call too. That's the thing. You don't even sometimes have to be said. If the offensive player is going to go in with his forearm or his elbow or creates like the contact like that, that's what the call is.
Yeah, and that's what the average fan doesn't understand today, that you can take a charge while you are moving.
Correct. Douglas. Foul on the floor for the defense.
Well,
not more.
Because of the flow of offense, the emphasis of flow on offense, offensive players have a lot of other opportunities to move without the basketball and with the basketball. SMU back in their 2-3 zone, mixing matching defenses.
Oh, nice play from Martin.
Just poor defense.
Couple breakdowns by each team so far in this first half here. Under 6 left, 4-point ball game. Douglas for 3. Jiggets pulls it down.
Size mismatch.
Yeah, got it knocked away though. It's going to stay with the Bulls.
Yeah, the freshman William Douglas on the backside as well. Didn't recognize
Samuel for Shatekich.
The interior defense of SMU just getting carved up right now. But this is the problem that Tim Jankovic has. Who does he go to?
Right.
There isn't anybody. You run out of bodies. You got to rest him at some point.
Obviously not a deep bench. They haven't scored any points in over 4 minutes. As a steal by Justin Brown. Samuel for the tie. Rebound Agau.
I do like what SMU is doing offensively. Constantly looking for Ethan Shagwa, number red and black. They're getting him down the block. Now he's on the perimeter. Let's see if they see him again.
Shagwa high.
Good feed. Really good feed.
Good extra pass. Landrum nails a 3. Elijah Landrum.
So we saw Ethan Shagwa with his back to the basket, look over his shoulder early in the game. That time, dribble penetration, pivots, looks again, and they get the backside basket. That kid's good.
Freshman for SMU. Puts them back up 5.
Shekic is a big target inside.
Shot clock. Jiggets pulls up and hits. Just inside 3-point land. We've got a 3-point game with 3.5 to go first half.
We're going back and forth here. Number 5's been the dude. There's Ethan Shagwa right there.
Now you got to respect both his inside play, his ability to drive to the basket.
He's a guard with a 6'8" body.
Jamal McMurray.
How about how McMurray was going to play here today? Coming back to where he started.
Yeah.
He was at USF.
He's got to feel a little strange.
Yeah. Jiggets. Again.
He really has made the transition into a scoring point guard. Done a good job with it.
7 points for Stephon Jiggets. And here's Shagwa for 3. Rebound by Samuel.
Jiggets has had the hot hand. See if he feels it again. He's got the freshman on him.
Landrum. Samuel here with 5 to shoot. Knocked away. Another turnover, look out, here's Jimmy Witt. Nice take.
Jimmy Witt is cagey around the basket.
Looking at some of the future of the SMU Mustangs there with Jimmy Witt, Ethan Shagwa, guys that we've been talking about here recently. 7 steals already for the Mustangs in this first half, and they've converted them into points. 3-pointer in the corner, Brown not there.
No opportunity to substitute because the game won't stop.
Right.
Just keep on rolling.
Martin, oh, what a shot for 3.
Playing the best basketball of his career right now. Malik Martin.
7 points for him to tie his teammate Jiggets for the team high. It's a 2-point ball game. Witt to McMurray for 3. May not get the under 4 timeout here, Mark.
He'll keep on rolling.
Jiggets for the lead. And a whistle and a foul.
Of the spread, moving, bang it from Michigan to the inside-out offense of Purdue. A great matchup.
Looking forward to watching that one for sure. It's coming up a little bit later. 24-22 here, under a minute to go in this first half. As the Mustangs control it. Led by Witt with 8 points so far in this first half. Landrum has 6. And a foul as Shagwa works.
Inside and outside.
Averaging, averaging just over 9 points a game, 4.5 boards. Tulsa, Oklahoma also got, Everett Ray, who is hurt. The left foot injury has been out for the season. It's bad. 0 for 8. 1 for 5 for USF.
Yeah, this hasn't exactly been an offensive neutral. That's been a money, that's for sure.
How about you and I take some free throws at the house? See what you and I come up with.
A lot of money, no Lisa.
They're a little better than 1 for 13. Pull up here by Witt. Douglas the rebound. 8 seconds to go. McMurray. Whoa. Whistle, yes. Count it, and is fouled. SMU can pick their first free throw of the afternoon. They do. Foul. Jiggets. Good if it goes. And we've reached the break.
Defensively against that high ball screen against Landry Shamet, got a chance to visit with Mick Cronin as they beat Tulane, and knew that Cincinnati had a good answer to take away Landry Shamet's dynamic play in Cincinnati when Wichita State won that game. I really thought Cincinnati would hang tough and find a way to win today, and they did.
Here's a steal by Witt for SMU to get things started in this second half. Now, you were diagramming that for me, and it was really good about what Cincinnati was trying to do defensively as a former coach.
Play. Well, Cincinnati decided, we're not going to do that. We're not going to be switching off on everything. We're going to play it more true to a zone, and it worked out really well for Cincinnati. It's always a chess make adjustments.
So they always wonder when you ask a coach or a player or whatever at halftime, it's like, what about the halftime adjustments? Do you really make major adjustments there as Collins scores, and that you can do that quickly? Do you already have it in place? Is that a plan B? And we're just going to that? Or what were halftime adjustments?
Mike, it's a great question, and I wouldn't use the term major because you practice different things. It's more of what you practiced, and then you enact a different play or a different matchup, for example, defensively. Let's say, for example, Elijah Landrum, number 20 for SMU. Can he guard Stephon Jiggets? Okay, he's not on him right now. There might be a reason for that. They have Jamal McMurray on him. Now they're going to zone 2-3 zone. But those would be the types of, I would look at matchups. Who doesn't match up well with who? And then offensively, for example, can we expose them in their defensive transition?
That you go to?
Typically, yes. Although I can tell you that on some occasions, I might go rogue and do something completely off the map that we haven't done all year.
Gotcha. Like
what Wichita State did, for example, against Cincinnati and Cincinnati. Where Landry Shamet have the ball and make decisions.
3-point ball game here. SMU, 2 minutes gone by in this second half. Melagoo. Now Jiggets for 3 in the tie. Count it.
Over McMurray, who used to play here. Jiggets let him know on the way back.
And Jiggins has got 10 points, and the Bulls have tied it up at 27.
What Shake Milton meant to this team. Went for 33, winning in the roundhouse earlier this season. Just made their offense go. He's such a multi-dimensional offensive threat.
Samuel is fouled by Akoy Agau.
You know, Mike, now we're coming down the stretch in championship week where all of a sudden you've got a great team like Middle Tennessee State, which Joe Lenardi has had between 11 and 12 seed now for the last month. What if they don't win Conference USA? They lost to Marshall last night in their final home game, although won the Conference USA regular season championship. And congratulations to Kermit Davis. Middle Tennessee, to me, is a for sure at-large bid, but I don't have confidence in the committee understanding that and how good they are. As good as the committee is and how many good people are on that committee, sometimes I think they miss the boat on teams like Middle Tennessee State.
That are fun teams to watch and that could make some noise in the tournament if given the opportunity.
Oh, Nick King is tremendous offensively. And then you look at Giddy Potts, who's been in that program for seems like since the beginning of time. This is a team that's seasoned, talented, athletic, and defensively nasty.
What a play by Landrum, or excuse me, Amelagu to stick with it for SMU to tie it back up at 29.
Amelagu just a strong body inside.
Jiggins thought about the three again. Instead, it's Collins who takes it in. Oh, what a play by David Collins.
Is he athletic? I like this freshman. This is a cornerstone you can build on. Number 11 for USF, David Collins. He's legit.
Now, you were saying earlier that really should be kind of in the conversation at least for the freshman of the year this year in the conference.
Yeah, when you look at his points per game, he's number 1 in assists for freshmen per game. He's had a really solid year. There's Jamal McMurray. There's Collins again working his magic inside. I like the way he moves without the basketball. He understands spacing.
Well, he's
open now.
Alley-oop, yeah, underneath. His Jiggins puts it up and in.
A lot more flow, a lot more ball movement. That's one of the quote-unquote major adjustments that Brian Gregory made. Better spacing, better ball movement, and Collins now moving in and out of gaps.
And Jiggins is taking advantage of it. He's got 12 points. That's a game high. Here's Landrum for 3. Too long. Collins is there for the rebound.
Love this kid. Watch him move without the basketball. He just gets open to the open spaces. There he is.
And he puts up the 3 and drains it. SMU needs a timeout. And they call it USF.
The quadrant 1 in all those computer rankings, they're sorting mechanisms. They're not deciding mechanisms as per the NCAA selection committee chairman, Bruce Rasmussen. Mike.
Movement in there in the bottom half. We'll see. How about your all-conference team?
Gary Clark of Cincinnati, Landry Shamet of Wichita State, Jacob Evans of Cincinnati, Shaq Morris of Wichita State. Do you feel sort of a consistency here? Rob Gray at Houston. What a career. What a job he has done for Houston. And Kelvin Sampson, Junior E2 would be my 6th man. Rob Gray is a guy I watched earlier this season in practice before they ever played a game, got the honor of speaking to their team in preseason. And he might be the best encore coach in the conference. He's constantly helping his teammates get better.
Went the other way for SMU. Shaglaw there to clean it up. After the Mustangs made a nice play defensively on Collins for USF. 3-point ball game.
A little bit extended pressure now for SMU. Tim Jankovich trying to get a little bit more defensive mojo out of SMU right now. Thought they were a little soft the last few minutes.
It was a 14-4 run prior to that last basket for SMU. In favor of the Bulls after trailing by as many as 9 earlier. Here's Collins, puts up a 3.
Yeah, David Collins really feeling it. Had a little chatter right there after making the 3 ball, and the official gave him a warning. Keep an eye on that.
6-point lead now for USF.
Jamal McMurray really hunting his shot, and Collins matched up with him. That's another thing I like about the freshman. He can guard you.
McMurray, fade away.
Tough shot.
Yep. Jiggets all the way up the court. Now you try from Martin. He'll finish from Becks.
Well, what a play by Stephon Jiggets to get that break rolling down the floor. USF is much improved. Much improved. A difficult season, but they are playing their best basketball right now.
Yeah, literally this past week, big blowout win over Memphis. Now winning by 8 here right now.
Bucket doesn't step outside of his comfort zone. It makes the play. Smart play by Martin.
Jaguar on the take.
When he lowers his left shoulder, that little shoulder slant right there really gives him leverage in the basket. Not many big guys can do that without losing the basketball.
He might end up being one of those guys where opposing teams and coaches are thinking that, you know, he's still here, he's still here. I mean, he's only a freshman as the years go on.
Yeah. He caught my eye earlier this season when they beat USC at home. He continues to catch my eye. Head fake, just smart basket.
Nice kick of Meligu. Look out.
But the mismatch happened because the head fake from Ethan Shagwar. And Meligu took full responsibility.
USF shooting much better in this second half, 64%. 7 for 11 after shooting just 32% at the half.
Yeah, SMU tends to get tired defensively. Tim Jankovic now going exclusively zone over the last 5 minutes.
Banks, good look for 3. Got it!
See how they're slow to cover? When you get this team down to the 30-minute mark of the game, they just get tired. I've seen it.
And then you got to go to zone, but it's almost counterproductive because then you kind of think, okay, I'm in the zone, I can sit back a little. No,
he's trying to rest, and he's trying to rest him as much as he can. This is the end where you should be resting.
Now on shit.
Tired, you might say, well, why don't they work them harder in practice? Then you risk injury. Then you risk overworking them. It's a hard balancing act.
They don't have enough guys to practice right now. SMU's really went about 7 deep. That's all they can do. All the injuries. Here's Shagwar for 3. He got fouled. No. Coming up tonight, Sports Center after this, the latest SC featured. Miracle and Manhattan, the story of South Carolina head coach Frank Martin and his second chance.
I've always respected and admired Frank Martin. I love that future.
SMU struggling mightily at the free throw line today. 2 of 12. USF 3 of 7. As it's a 6-point game.
Well, David Collins really moves well without the basketball. Watch number 11 move against his zone. Watch how he gets into gaps. We can make plays.
Jiggets 5 to shoot. Here's Collins. Collected it. Gets hit. And is headed to the free throw line. / graduate students that will be departing at the end of this season.
Played an entire season. David Collins wasn't near this good the last time. Too many things. Like, for example, David Collins moves well without the basketball. He does that well, okay? He can spot up and shoot the 3 ball. He does that well. Do what you can do. He doesn't have to be a crazy.
Well,
you're pretty good at
it. You hear these things all the time, and then you wonder, well, what does that mean? You know, what does that mean to you? High basketball IQ. Your coach, you know?
Play to your strengths.
Yep.
It's really that simple. Play to your strengths. Understand what you're not good at and avoid that. It's a lesson for life as well.
The other one I always like, put your players in their best position to be successful.
And that's the key to a great coach. Put the right players in the right time based upon what they do the best in that situation. That's what coaches do.
Martin from Jiggets, and USF is now on top by 10.
This is a different South Florida team than I saw earlier this season. They're really playing with a lot of confidence.
Way off on the 3 by McMurray. Shagwar, who else? There again.
He's killing them inside.
Ethan Shagwar.
I know they're down 8, but that dude's playing a big-time game.
30 out of their 40 points have come in the paint today for SMU. 75% of the scoring. Jiggets. Directing traffic, he's got Collins up there.
So I think Collins eventually could be a point guard.
Oh, he's going to also do that, yes.
That's why. He's figuring it out.
Witt on the pull-up, too strong. Akoy Agau there for the offensive rebound.
Agau might have got away with one there. Little subtle push-off, but it counts. If you push off early in the shot, you usually get away with it. Just something to keep in mind. You're playing YMCA basketball.
Under 8 minutes to go. Peyton Banks for three. Got it again.
Brian Gregory has taken this team completely out of the grave. He's gone Frankenstein on us. Put the body parts together, and somehow this team now is winning games.
Banks gonna steal. Well, they're trying to build off that 75-51 win at Memphis the other night. Now it's out by 11 here on Senior Day, final day of the regular season. Martin. Collins is there.
It's a clinic from a freshman. It's his coming out party.
Coach Jankovic and SMU have seen enough. Timeout. 21 versus Memphis at the end of January, and has 19 so far here today. USF has also done a much better job of taking care of the basketball. They had 10 turnovers in that first half, just one so far here in the second half. Big reason why they're up 13. McMurray. Melagu kicks it for Witt. Landrum got in there, couldn't finish it. Here's Collins again.
Great pass.
Banks for three. Also, nice job to get rid of it, because of what teams and players do now is they see guys coming up the court, screaming up the court, and they'll take a charge. Yeah. You know, so he gets rid of it before he gets potentially called for an offensive if you plow into somebody.
But Cumberland was a guy that added layers to his game. David Collins has more layers than Cumberland did a year ago. That's how good this kid can be.
But it's
Jared
not
Cumberland's a heck of a player.
Pardon me, not trying to add them all at once.
That's exactly right.
Rebound McMurray. SMU trails it by 13 still. Needing points bad. Melagu. Landrum, good look for three. Melagu the offensive rebound.
He's just strong inside. Ben Melagu.
Most consistent player for them this season. He started and played in all 31 games for SMU. You can only say that about two players, him and Witt. And he's been dealing with a wrist injury as well, so he's not 100%.
You can win with David Collins as your point guard in this game. That's what he's going to be eventually.
Wide open. 5 to shoot, Jiggets. Banks for three. Knocked out of bounds.
That's been the challenge for this team coming down the stretch because of all the injuries and lack of depth.
Shagwa had a rest, so he's back in. Now here's McMurray. Yeah, and you can get that shot anytime.
Yeah, and
you don't need that.
When you're missing that far short, usually it's legs.
Collins.
For SMU to start getting some offensive positives on the board. I'd go to Shagwa down low.
Shagwa. There you go.
Ethan Shagwa.
A little pick and pop this up, and have anybody can guard him.
A little bit of pressure now in the backcourt here. Jiggets will get it over. Right to the hole himself. Not there. Melagu the rebound, and here's Witt. Landrum McMurray for three.
Short again. Legs, Mike.
Yep. Good save, though, by the Mustangs to keep it alive. And another one that's a little bit short and off the mark by Agau.
Well, USF dodged the bullet right there.
They just get it over with Samuel. They're in no hurry. 9-point lead. SMU 0 for 8 from three-point range in this second half. 5 of 10 for the Bulls. That's helped them. Samuel!
Starting to take some risks defensively. USF recognizes it. High risk, high reward defense turned into more risk in that circumstance. Short again.
Landrum.
You can't settle here. You just can't. Short again. If you're SMU, you cannot settle for the jump shot. Firepower, UCF, a defensive juggernaut. Interesting matchup there in the first round. I like UCF a lot to make a little mini run here.
Now they're playing well here as of late, certainly today. Jaguar trying to keep SMU in it. Still a ton of time remaining.
Tim Jankovic, really well-designed play coming out of the timeout to bang the ball inside.
Now, Mark, you called it. You're like, get the ball in. 16 foul, one more, and USF will be shooting.
Good cut by Jiggets.
Martin almost got it knocked away.
Here's where you got to keep your head up and attack. You got to attack here.
They do. Martin with a flush. 59-48. Witt. Wow. You know that pitch.
A line drive. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a line drive.
Three-pointer. 8-point game. Foul.
His chance to show some leadership for this USF basketball team. He's made a big jump this year, going from a distributing point guard to more. They need him to score more, and he's made the adjustment well.
Minute 35. Witt. Tipped by Jaguar, and Jiggets has it. Lost it. Jaguar saves it to Landrum. And Collins has it for USF.
Tremendous game, win by 24. They had a hop in their step this morning. I could feel their confidence in their pregame meal. And Brian, up 10, now 12 now with 1:10 to go.
Well, you said it. What does a win do for your program, especially with a team that has been, down this much this season?
And SMU obviously has been down a lot here lately without Shake Milton and company. Great block off.
Three. Collins has tied his season and career high at 21 points.
He has been tremendous. Number 11 for USF. Remember this kid.
And number 2, Samuel, who has it right now, and feeds it to Martin. Also big games for them. 2 big dunks by Martin. Samuel has tied a season and career high in rebounds with 12. One of the best games that USF has played this season.
Jimmy Witt.
As they really turned it on in the second half. Senior day. It's been a real tough season for the Bulls, but not today. They can celebrate with this big-time win with a lot of contributors. Final day.